Big 8 basketball is a game that has something for everyone. Skilled players, excellent coaches, superior facilities, innovation such as the 30-second clock and 3 officials. But most of all, it's excitement. And this excitement has captured the attention of fans from coast to coast. The league stretches from the wide Missouri clear to the flat irons of the Rockies. This is Big 8 country, home of exciting Big 8 basketball. Hello, I'm Merle Harmon. This is the story of Big 8 basketball, brought to you by Vickers Petroleum Corporation, where driving costs less.
Take it from old lonesome George Goebel. Driving costs less at Vickers.
Crime and Nentleys, everybody knows that.
The excitement in Big 8 basketball begins with the players, and the conference has some good ones, like Steve Mitchell of Kansas State. At 6'10", Mitchell is the Wildcat leader with his shooting, rebounding, and defense. Likewise, Iowa State has a top man up front in 6'8" forward Clinton Harris. He's the Cyclone leader in both scoring and rebounding. Flexibility is the word for Nebraska's Lee Harris, who can maneuver inside, as well as fire from the far reaches of the court. Another frontliner who is adept at handling the ball is Scott Wedman. He is the man in the pivot for Colorado. Ernie Kushner is one of the shorter forwards in the Big 8, standing 6'5". What he lacks in size, he makes up an effort, scoring from anywhere for Kansas State and rebounding with everyone. One of the best all-around players to be found is Missouri's 6'7" center, John Brown. Selected to the U.S. Olympic team, Brown has led the Tigers to national prominence. He has the shooting touch of a guard. He drives to the bucket through the smallest cracks in the enemy defenses, and he rebounds with authority. Joining Brown in the Missouri front court is Al Eberhard, a real hustler. Eberhard has earned the respect of opposing players and coaches for the way he battles from the opening tip to the final gun. Larry Williams has shaken an early season injury to become a vital weapon in the Kansas State attack. He shoots well for a man 6'9". Excitement also abounds at the guard position. Kansas playmaker Tom Cavisto is an effective scorer and a great passer who initiates much of KU's offense. Another floor leader is Danny Beard of Kansas State. His size, 6'3", often presents problems for smaller defenders. Hefty Mike Jeffries is a key to Missouri's success. His outside shooting ability presents problems for any team that plays his own defense against the Tigers. Junior Lee Haven is known to his Colorado teammates as Harpo, but opponents speak in awe of this Buffalo. Iowa State has a versatile guard in Martinez Denman. He can hurt a defense with his lightning drives or his fall-away jump shot over a defender. The biggest and perhaps most underrated guard in the conference is Kevin Fitzgerald of Oklahoma State. At 6'6", this left-hander has switched to the backcourt after a year at forward to lead the Cowboy attack. These are all familiar faces. Does the Big 8 have any bright prospects? The answer is a resounding yes. The entire Kansas roster reads like a list of promising newcomers. Jayhawk fans have anxiously awaited the debut of an undefeated freshman team. Rick Suttle has burned defenses, maneuvering his 6'10" frame inside. Another top hand is Tommy Smith, who stands 6'4", but jumps over opposing forwards and centers regardless of their size. They are joined by another big man, 6'10" Danny Knight, giving Kansas an imposing forward wall. Junior college transfer Lee Gilbert has taken over the backcourt reins at Oklahoma. "I'm a shooter," Gilbert says, and shoot he does. Another junior college graduate is Iowa State's other fine guard, Bill Benson. Cyclone coach Maury John calls Benson one of the best shooters I have ever coached. Not to be outdone is Nebraska's Kent Reckaway. In a critical moment, count on Reckaway to take the shot for the Cornhuskers. One newcomer who doesn't rely on his shooting ability is Andy Hobson of Oklahoma State. At 6'8" and 225 pounds, Hobson loves contact and ranks among the Big Eight's leading rebounders. We'll have more exciting Big Eight basketball after this message. The emergence of freshmen in the Big Eight has provided the conference with additional basketball excitement. Nearly every team has one or two first-year players making a key contribution. Gerald Ford of Nebraska has proven he must be reckoned with now, as well as in the future. At 6'3", Ford has the quickness to be an effective driver, as well as shooter.
I like the freshman rule because I think as being as a freshman, you can gain a lot of experience playing in your first year of college ball. It can help you a lot out in your junior and senior years. So I think that's very important. One of my reasons for coming to Nebraska is because it was in the Big Eight Conference. And I just like it because it's big-time basketball. And that's my thing.
Moving into the Oklahoma State lineup is Lafayette Threet. Already this 6'7" forward has changed Coach Sam Aubrey's opinion concerning the Frosh eligibility question.
Freshman eligibility rule, I feel, is a good rule. Earlier, I was against it because I thought it took a freshman maybe a year to get adjusted to college life. In our tournament, I noticed that practically every team is using a freshman, and some of them have been stars of the tournament. I know in our case, the freshman that we're using, Lafayette Threet, his grades are good, so everything's working out. So I'd have to be for it now.
A surprise entry in the Colorado lineup is footballer Dave Logan, who has emerged as a top player for the Buffs.
I think the freshman eligibility rule is an overall good rule. I can't really see any reason why, if a player is good enough, that he shouldn't be playing. And I can't really fault this rule because I've got a lot of good experience in this rule this year. So overall, I think the freshman eligibility rule is a very good rule, and I'm glad it happened this year. The Big Eight has very good players, and the 30-second clock this year is really going to help us. It's going to help move the ball and cut out a lot of the stalling, a lot of the zone defenses. So I think the Big Eight's going to be good.
One of the reasons Oklahoma is a contender in the Big Eight race is freshman center Alvin Adams. A scholar in the classroom, Adams uses his 6'9" frame effectively on both ends of the court, scoring with ease and blocking shots from any angle. His coach, John McLeod, talks about freshmen being eligible for the varsity.
In regard to the freshman eligible rule, as far as we're concerned, with Alvin Adams and another freshman, John Breathwaite, who could play in the Big Eight Conference, I'd have to say that for us, the University of Oklahoma is definitely a plus. I think in some instances, freshmen are not ready to play and probably rush on to the varsity level and may not be able to make the adjustment or the transition from high school ball to major college ball. But I do think in the long run that the freshman eligible rule is a good rule.
Nebraska has been one of the prime beneficiaries of the Frosh eligibility rule. Husker coach Joe Cipriano gives his views.
The freshman eligibility rule is definitely a controversial subject. I think it's excellent for the freshmen who are good enough to play on the varsity, but I think it really hurts the freshman program. Anytime you take 2 or 3 of your best players off of the freshman team and move them to the varsity,
then your freshman team will not have as much strength. As a result, we may have to just go to the one team rather than use a freshman cup.
However, the Big 8 doesn't rely on players alone for its basketball excitement. Far from it. The conference has built a reputation on outstanding coaches as well. These coaches own a combined winning percentage of 65%. Kansas coach Ted Owens ranks among the nation's winningest active coaches.
Let's go, fight him. Hurry up. 25 seconds. Fight him, hurry up, fighting. Who's got the middle, Danny? You get out of the middle, Danny. Take him, Wilson. All right, get off, Wilson, if he's got it.
All the Big 8 coaches are respected as basketball tacticians. Here, Norm Stewart aligns Missouri during a timeout.
Just bring it. All right, now, if you take the basketball and you go back to the reverse side, let's go back to the shuffle. Everybody know what we're talking about? Steve? Lynn? Go back to the shuffle, all right? Take one of those big guys out there and shuffle him through there. Now, the four-man is there. The four-man is there also. Defensively, you've got to give some support back here. Come on. Don't let him push you under the basket. Come on, let's go, John Hill. Let's go.
These coaches are also leaders of men who know how to arouse their players' emotions, calm their fears, and prepare them for what to expect during a game. Jack Hartman uses a timeout to analyze an end-of-the-game situation with his Kansas State team.
There's no way they can win, man. What we want to try to do is make them throw it in there. They're going to throw it long. Don't let them throw it long. Just go foul. See, they can call timeout after we go through. That's all right. Just go foul.
Outstanding coaching isn't a recent Big 8 acquisition. Through the years, the conference has been blessed with many fine coaches. Certainly, Henry Iba was one of them, coaching at Oklahoma State for 36 years. Mr. Iba also coached the past 3 United States Olympic teams.
First, the Big 8 is a great conference. The change has come in the various types of defense, the way they've changed the defense. From a zone to a press, man-to-man, and a full-court zone press. The other thing that I think we noticed is the fact that years ago, we had about 2 men that could shoot 40%. Today, we have at least 5 men on most every squad that's here in the Big 8 Conference can shoot 40%. It gives for better scoring, it gives for better balance, and it gives for better rebounding. All in all, the athlete of today is far superior to the athlete of 15 years ago. Thank you.
Not all the action ends up like the coach diagrams it on the blackboard. It's plays like this that give coaches ulcers. Well, back to the drawing board. You've heard about players who do it all? How about this? While exciting players and outstanding coaches have been a tradition in the Big 8, the construction of first-class arenas throughout the league is a more recent development. Kansas State with a Hearn Fieldhouse and Kansas with Allen Fieldhouse set the pace in the facilities department. Now, Iowa State has moved to the front of the class with its 14,000-seat Hilton Coliseum, which has hosted several championship events, such as the NCAA Midwest Regional Basketball Playoffs. Missouri replaced its old field house with the long-awaited Warren E. Hearns multi-purpose building, seating 12,500. Nebraska has begun construction on a 15,000-seat multi-purpose arena, while Oklahoma has a 12,000-seat basketball facility on the way. And Colorado has a new arena in the planning stages. We'll have more exciting Big 8 basketball after this message. In other areas, the Big 8 is setting the pace in collegiate basketball. The 30-second clock and the 3 officials are a couple of the conference innovations. Big 8 coaches voted unanimously to use the clock in an experiment for the National Basketball Rules Committee. Each team has 30 seconds in which to shoot after gaining possession of the ball. The clock has contributed to closer games. Since the team ahead cannot build its lead with a stall late in the game, the team behind can use the final minutes to catch up. This keeps the issue in doubt until the final gun. Colorado's Sox Walseth, the dean of Big 8 coaches, tells why he likes the clock.
I like the clock very much. I think it does away with the 5-second counts. I think the officials can do a better job of working the ball game. I think it's interesting from the spectator standpoint. The players enjoy it because it's more up and down and shooting the basketball, and I think it causes closer games at the end. So I'm definitely in favor of it, and I hope that it becomes a national rule sometime.
For several seasons, the Big 8 experimented with 3 officials in preseason tournament games only. Now, 3 officials are being used in all conference games as well. Bryce Durbin, the Big 8 supervisor of basketball officials, says the use of 3 officials increases the coverage on goaltending, sideline and fast break plays, plus contact away from the ball. Iowa State's Maury John likes the use of 3 officials for another reason.
Yes, I believe that I'm in favor of 3 officials. It places them in a better position to handle the fast breaks. I think that the better officials can remain longer in the game. They do not have to retire at an early age. So I think I'm in favor of that.
The showcase of Big 8 basketball is the annual preseason tournament held in Kansas City. Upwards of 50,000 fans yearly view the event involving all conference teams, with 3 of the 4 night sessions sold out. Occasionally, Kansas and Kansas State will meet during the tournament, renewing one of the great basketball rivalries in intercollegiate athletics. The expression, throw away the book, certainly applies when the Wildcats and Jayhawks mix it up. The result is certain, intense basketball, even though Kansas State was to eventually win.